Let's look at the evolution as how evolution hijacks science. The Darwinian agenda now drives much of science. For example, in terms of biological funding, funding is hugely dedicated to the study of evolution. And I don't know exactly what fraction of all grants are biological research grants involve evolution, but I know that pretty much every grant proposal needs to salute evolution and somehow say that that somehow it's some aspect of the grant proposal. And when you look at the nature of the evolutionary studies that are being done, they're just beating the evolutionary drum. That's what all this money and all this research are people who are just beating the ideological drum to drum up support for this worldview. Now, in terms of, as you go into the published literature, like if you pick up the journals of science or Nature or the national proceedings of the National Academy of Science, if you just page through the table of contents, article after article after article after article is about evolution. I have not studied to see what fraction of all published literature in the biological arena is about evolution, but it's very, very large. I have noticed that the dominant number of articles in Science and Nature tend to be about evolution, biological articles. And so they've hijacked the funding. That drives more and more scientists to go where the funding is, which means they've hijacked scientific staff. And then lastly, they've hijacked the transmission of truth through journals. And so if you produce results that don't fit the Darwinian paradigm, you will find it very difficult to get published. And it will be viewed as subversive or seditious. You're violating the party line. And what are you up to, really? And so peer review is designed to preserve high quality in science, and it's very important. But when things get politicized, what happens is peer review becomes an ideological filter, not just a quality filter. And I believe I see that extensively. And I believe that because of this, true science, the operational science that actually gives us wealth and health, has been undervalued and underfunded. My own experience within academia is if you do something like agriculture or even medicine, it's not considered the really elite research. You have to be up in the ivory tower and ideally in some way beating the evolutionary drum to really be prestigious within the university, with a few exceptions. And so there is a cost to all this propaganda, not just that they're perpetuating information that is not correct, but that it actually detracts from real science.